Hey guys, welcome to Khong Driving. Okay, we just had breakfast in Seremban, my favorite beef noodles, and we are now on our way to a place called Sembayu Villa, where we're going to spend a night. And of course tomorrow we'll head back to work and civilization again. But right now we are in the Mitsubishi Triton Athlete. Now, when this car was first launched a couple of years ago, I thought that it was quite modern and very trendy because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first truck that came with autonomous braking. So yes, it's still here, and let's just see if it is still relevant today. Well, it may not be the most advanced today, but it has certain features about it that are quite enduring. This car comes with 181 PS of power from a 2.4 liter Mitsubishi engine, and it also has 430 Newton meters of torque. So in terms of power, it ranks among the top 2 or 3 in this category, and it's only a 2.4 liter, so the power delivery is actually quite remarkable. And it has a 6-speed gearbox and pedal shifters. Now that's something very uncommon. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably, no, it's not the only truck with pedal shifters, but it was one of the early ones with pedal shifters, and that is why a couple of years ago I thought that it was quite advanced, because it also has autonomous braking, and it also has a blind spot warning system, and all-round camera. Okay, so in terms of driving, it doesn't lose out to anybody. The only thing I notice about this car is the steering is remarkably lighter than others. It's possibly due to the reduced caster. Of course, the good thing about extra caster is that straight line stability is good at high speeds. This one, I've tried it at high speed. Yes, I have. And it's not so bad. It feels good, and in fact it actually feels better when you drive at a higher speed, because the engine sounds even smoother, and it's like singing, the car is on song. And is the 6-speed gearbox good? Yes, it's good. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to drive at what you call nominal highway speed of 110 to 120, and check out the noise level. Yeah, so you see, at now we are going a little bit above 110, but the engine actually is smoother. We are running at about 2000 rpm, and I think that's when the engine is smoothest. Red line is at 4000 rpm. Yes, this truck has a rev counter too. So the ride is a little bit harsher than a car, but nowadays all the truckers, or rather nowadays all the truck makers, have tried to soften the ride somewhat. And yes, it's a tough decision they have to make between making the truck work, you know, like carry a heavy payload, versus having to make its occupants comfortable. So the Athlete is actually the city slicker version of the Triton, and of course it costs around 140,000, and it has a lot of things that the others don't have. Like, for example, it has 18-inch wheels, and it has extra garnishing in the front, different grille and decorations, you know, along the side. The side steps are different, so it is a more, what do you call, upmarket version of the base vehicle. So it definitely, it is a diesel, and it sounds like a diesel, but like I said, at higher speeds it's actually smoother. Okay, so now we're going to accelerate a bit, and you can hear the acceleration going and the gear shifting by itself. Okay, now we are going at a very high speed. Okay, I'm going to slow down. Yeah, that was really quick. Yes, and believe me, this truck will go to the end of the speedometer. We didn't go exactly to the end, but very near. Okay, this is a two-way traffic, so we have to be a bit more cautious. There was just one short spurt when the road was clear, and so we're now going at 100. Now at 100 is probably when the vehicle is sort of like on song, you know, everything is happening nicely, and you can 110 now. It's very, very smooth. So if you are the type that will stick to the traffic rules and drive 110, maybe a little bit 120, yes, this truck is really, really good. At 110, we're going at a little bit over 2,000 RPM. So this is potentially a very economical vehicle. Now, in terms of size, this Triton is in the ballpark with all the other competitors. The overall length is 5305 mm, and this is plus or minus a few mm from all the others in its class. It might even be the longest. I'm not quite sure about that, but it is one of the longest. And the width is 1815 mm and the height is 1795. So it's more or less kind of like a little bit over square on the side, a little bit wider than it is tall. But of course, being a truck, it has to be tall because it needs to have ground clearance. In terms of stability, we will be doing a little bit of cornering test, and we'll see how stable it is. But the basic suspension system is very similar to all the others, so it shouldn't be any issue. In terms of driving position, now this is probably the most fun truck you can get because it comes with paddle shifters and of course a 6-speed gearbox. Is a 6-speed gearbox enough? Yes, there's plenty gear ratios for you, and the paddle shifters are really nice because you can actually shift up and down with them quite easily, and of course it's quite fun to have them lah. There's also of course the manual shift. If you push your gear lever to the right, there is a plus minus, yeah, but you can invoke your manual shift anytime that you want. Okay, so we are moving out. Of course, during normal driving, I think just using the normal shift is good enough. Yeah, you let the gear shift by itself. And we are now heading towards Jelebu side on this B road, and you can see that the handling is quite good. Okay, we're taking the corners. Okay, the paddle shifters are actually attached to the steering column and not attached to the steering wheel, so it doesn't turn with the steering. So you have to get used to this. Ferraris are like that too. Anyway, we have a car that is going very slow. Okay, we can pass him. Okay, I'm going to put it back on auto. And we're going to take the turn off to go to Sembayu Villa. We are in Pantai, and the going is going to get a bit more rustic as we go along. Yeah. So can you use this vehicle for normal day-to-day? Yes, you can. It is higher and is very good for Kuala Lumpur traffic because you are big and you won't get bullied so easily, lor. The only thing you will have is when you're trying to park the truck. As with all trucks, it is big, so parking may be a bit of a problem if you're not good at parking. But other than that, when you're in traffic, it feels good because you can see over the top of other cars and it can tootle along at low speed. And of course, being such a big truck, I think a diesel engine is the ideal engine for this, lor. The weight, by the way, is 1.9 tons. And if you want to use this as a daily, not a problem, because people will have high regard for you and stay clear from you when you are in traffic. Okay, so let's check out the handling. Nice. Well, this is two-way traffic, so we can only use one lane, and even then we have to be very careful not to eat into the other lane. Nice. Okay, from here it gets a bit narrower and we have to actually go slow. So in terms of seating, of course the Athlete comes with leather seats with some stitching, and of course you get a leather steering wheel. You get also 3 seats at the back with 3 headrests and 2 seats in the front. They are very nice and comfortable. The driver gets what you call electrically operated seats, but the passenger has to take care of yourself lah, with mechanical arrangements. Now steering is rack and pinion, very precise, no problem. Of course it's power, and the power assistance is good because the steering effort is very, very minimal. Of course, we have a rear deck, and I think the carrying capacity is about a ton. Not much difference between all these vehicles. They're all quite close to each other in terms of capacity. So there's, of course, it comes with a deck liner and also special steps at the back for easy climbing up and down, because it is the Athlete version. Okay, here you got to be careful because of the danger of oncoming traffic. We are going to a very, very remote resort, so it's good to slow down and horn. You don't want to meet another truck coming around the other side going fast. So here is where a good horn serves its purpose. Okay, there are some cars that I test. The first thing I want to do if I ever buy the car is change the horn. So let's check out this horn again. Not bad. Okay, this is what you call a decent sounding horn. Not too loud, not too soft. It doesn't go beep beep, you know. It has a dual horn inside. Okay, we are heading to this place called Sembayu Villa. So you can hear the engine sound at low speed. The engine sound is actually louder than when it's at high speed, because when it's at high speed, it's on song for some reason. Yeah, I shifted the third gear and you can actually tootle along. Of course, this is a fully off-road capable. You have two-wheel drive high, then you have four-wheel drive high ratio, and then you have the four-wheel low ratio. From 2 high to 4 high, you can shift it on the fly, but to go to 2 low, you need to go to 4 low, you need to slow down because there's another further reduction on the gearing. So you have to slow down. All cars have to, especially those that have a low gear. Now on the off-road, they also have what you call off-road mode. There are a few options that you can select here. Yes, sand, gravel, mud and rock. Yeah, there are 4 options for you to select, and I think the vehicle reacts differently in each of the modes. So this is the only 4x4 truck that has this mode. So at the end of it all, is the Triton Athlete still relevant, even though it's been quite a few years since it's been launched, and the others are also catching up and adopting some of the features, and some of them even surpass these features? Yes, I think the Triton Athlete, first of all, as a workhorse, it is very well proven. So the main body frame and all is from Mitsubishi, and I don't think that has changed. Maybe it has improved. The body is changed slightly from the previous one, and this makes it look a bit more angular. But as a workhorse, no problem, because I'm very familiar with it. I've driven the old Triton before, and it didn't have as much power, but it feels much the same. This one has a bit more power, of course, and it's, in terms of comfort, well, I'm not quite sure, because all of them are quite what they call robust or stiff in terms of suspension adjustment, but they have generally become a bit softer lah. Okay, so in terms of safety, this one has got 7 airbags, by the way, and it's got forward collision mitigation. It also has the blind spot warning, and also it has all-round monitor, and so that's pretty good. It doesn't have idle off. Well, not all of them have idle start stop. Yeah, so that's not important. It doesn't have auto cruise control, but not all of them have. Yeah, some of them have it, but is it something you really use? It's something you pay for, definitely. Well, this one has got normal cruise control. Oh, there's another Triton there with a rear deck cover. This one has normal cruise control, but having noted that, I hardly ever use cruise control. I only use it for fun, and maybe the longest I've used cruise control for is perhaps for about 10 minutes, after which I just give up, you know. And of course, if it's raining, I would strongly advise against using cruise control. Definitely on off-road, you don't need cruise control. So if you're buying a vehicle as an off-road vehicle, you don't need it. But for the city, you don't need it. And for long distance, you can use it, but you don't really need it. Yeah, so that's it. But anyway, we are getting near our final destination. We hope you liked our presentation on the Triton Athlete, and till we meet again in the next video, bye bye.